Before we jump into today's math problem, let's take a few moments to briefly meditate and calm and relax ourselves. So wherever you are, sit up straight with your head directly above your shoulders aligned above your hips, and just feel that nice, stable alignment. And gently close your eyes. Your hands can rest on your thighs with the palms facing up. And if you like, you can have the forefinger and thumb touch in a sort of OK shape. And breathe in deeply through your nose. And exhale slowly through your nose. On your next inhale through your nose, see if you can notice the temperature of the air as it's entering into your body. It might seem a little cool. And slowly exhale through your nose. And again, notice the temperature of the breath as you're exhaling. It may seem a little warmer. On your next inhale, see if you can hear that audible breath in the back of your throat, sort of like a Darth Vader sound. And as you exhale slowly through your nose, see if you can hear that same sound again with the audible breath in the back of your throat. Let's take one last deep inhale through your nose, sending the breath to any parts of your body that may be feeling a little tense. And when you get to the top, hold your breath for a few seconds and exhale through your nose as slowly as you can, savoring that breath and feeling the tension release and feeling your body more relaxed and calm. And then gently open your eyes. This multiple choice question comes from the College Board. It's from section 3 of the SAT test, which does not allow calculators. And the question says, at a restaurant, N cups of tea are made by adding tea bags to hot water. If T equals N plus 2, how many additional tea bags are needed to make each additional cup of tea? So take a moment and try to work with this problem, see what you can do. It's okay if you're not sure exactly how to approach it. You can even just take a guess. And in a minute or so, we'll have a look at it together. Cups of tea represented by N, and we have number of tea bags represented by T, and the relationship is this equation, T equals N plus 2. And I have to confess that when I was thinking about this problem, I got pretty confused. And one thing that you can do is you can notice that, okay, well, this is just a line, right? I'm familiar with algebraic equations that look like y equals mx plus b, and my two variables are x and y. So I'm going to not be intimidated by this relationship and really think about, okay, there's a relationship between the number of cups of tea and the number of tea bags. And one strategy when I feel disoriented that I like to use is actually creating some examples and recording that in a table of data so I can see the patterns and get a little more confident about the relationship between the variables. So let me show you what I mean by that. So our independent variable, or the x variable, is n, which is number of cups of tea. So I'm going to create a table. I'm going to have n, which is number of cups, right? And then the other variable is t, which is the number of tea bags. All right. And all we're going to do is we're going to generate some examples. Okay. So we know that t equals n plus 2. And let's think about a certain number of cups of tea, which is n. I always like to work with easy numbers like 0 and 1. Let's work with at least 1 cup of tea. So we're going to set n equals 1. So if n is equal to 1, then t is equal to 3, right? So I can put that data point in there. Okay, so far so good. And let's just keep at it. So let's imagine that we had 2 cups of tea. So n is equal to 2, and t is equal to 2 plus 2, which is 4. All right, I'm starting to fill some of that out. And let's just do one more. So let's imagine that we had 3 cups of tea. So t is equal to 3 plus 2. So t is equal to 5. So I now have 3 data points, which should give me enough data to look at the pattern. So let's look at what the question is asking. How many additional tea bags are needed to make each additional cup of tea? All right, so look at my table here. I've got 1 more additional cup of tea with each row, right? So in the first row I have 1 cup of tea, and in the second row I have 2, which is 1 more cup of tea, and that needed 1 more bag. And then when I go from 2 cups to 3 cups, I needed 1 more additional tea bag to go from 4 to 5 tea bags. So every time I go up by 1 cup, I also go up by 1 tea bag. So the answer is going to be 1. Okay, so that made it a lot less mysterious because I could look at actual instances or actual examples. So that's one strategy you can use to help organize information if you're not clear about a certain situation. And what I like about that is it's visual, and you can also make it a little more concrete to see the pattern. I hope you enjoyed seeing this strategy. If you have any questions or suggestions or requests, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you subscribe to this channel, you'll be notified of new videos as they get posted. I enjoyed working together, and I look forward to seeing you next time.